Yeah, sorry. I really love Sharon Carter, and I really think she needs, like, to get more sort of love in the community. That's not what this video is about, though. No, not at all. So, actually, here is the video. Sorry, hey, it's Firefox here. It's Wednesday today, and I am supposed to go to the comic shop, like, right now, but the guy that runs the shop is actually gone to Vegas for like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I can't quite remember. But so yeah, I thought I'd use this time to record a video, considering I'm kind of in the mood for it. So and I was in the shower and I was like, I really want to record a video, so that's what I'm doing. I actually wanted to talk about something that's kind of a bit important to me. This whole topic is quite personal to me, and I know it affects a lot of people out there, so I wanted to kind of talk about it because it doesn't really get much recognition and a lot of people don't really take it too seriously, and that is sort of like mental abuse and sort of manipulation and things like that, because it just doesn't really get taken as seriously, and it doesn't really matter how little or how small it may seem, but it really can have such a profound effect on people, and it just needs to be recognised more. In this case, I am talking about an ex-friend, and I specifically say she's an ex-friend because I haven't spoken to her for about a month, maybe 2 months, probably around about 2 months now, and that's because me and another friend, we just couldn't really take it anymore, and she was, well, to put it simply, she was just taking the piss and it was getting ridiculous. I'll explain everything in a moment. For the purpose of this video, I will refer to my ex-friend as Jane, because I don't really want to give her real name out because, well, that's just unfair. And I'm going to refer to our mutual friend, the friend that I'm still friends with right now, and we're probably actually really best friends, as Shannon. I did ask her beforehand whether or not she wanted me to use her real name or not, and she said no. So I respect her decision, and I don't really want to name and shame her either, or not shame her, but I don't want to name her either. So yes, I will refer to her as Shannon for the purpose of this video. I just want to actually quickly point out that everything that I do say in this video, I'm not leaving any details out. I can't say what was said word for word because, you know, a lot of it happened a long time, well, not a long time ago, but quite a while ago, so I can't really remember all the details. This whole thing is completely unscripted, so I'm not entirely sure where I want to start with this, but basically me and Jane have been friends for about it would have been 3 years this year. We first met in college, in the first year of college, but we didn't actually really start talking or getting close until sort of like the latter half of the first year of college. At first we were talking for about 2 or 3 months, and you know, it was when I first met her, we were actually on a college trip, and we were going to Poland for 2 days, and we were like the only two that didn't really have any friends on the trip, so we kind of just sat with each other and we were talking. We kind of got off on a really good foot. We were like really good friends for like a good couple of months, and then it all kind of started when I think it was the night before I was going to Belgium. Was it Belgium? Yeah, I think it was Belgium. I was going to Belgium that year, and it was literally the day before I was due to go. She had a funny turn on me, and it kind of really spiraled out of control from there. The whole thing it kind of comes down to is that she knew how to basically control me mentally. I personally do suffer with anxiety and sort of a mild depression, and also social anxiety is probably my main thing, but at the time it wasn't really such a big of a deal, but I don't really say thanks to her, but because of her, during that time that we were sort of friends, if you even really want to call it friends, it kind of got out of control. It was like really bad. Not as bad as it could have been and as bad as it was during my teen years, but it did kind of feel at times as if I was regressing. But basically the kind of things she would do is to sort of make it all about her. Everything had to be about her. She could start arguments for no apparent reason. I had to watch what I say, or she might take it the wrong way, or she would read way too much into things. I want to use some specific examples of sort of what she would be like, not only to me but also with Shannon, because honestly, it doesn't really matter kind of like what her excuses are, because she knew what she was doing. Jane really did know what she was doing, and she kind of just took it to the extremes, and she would use the argument of mental health issues for pretty much everything. And I mean, I do appreciate she does have problems, but with half of the things that she was, well, a lot of the way she treated us, you can't blame that on mental health. Like, even Shannon agrees, you can't blame that on mental health, and Shannon herself has got some quite, although she's getting better now, but she's did have some quite severe mental health problems, so if anything she should know more than anyone else. The first example that I kind of want to give is in regards to the Ant-Man movie. I only literally just remembered it because I have my Ant-Man and my Yellow Jacket pops right there, so I just kind of remembered that. But I remember it came out the day before I came back from my holiday. Was it last year? I think it was last year. And I remember like 2 or 3 months before that, we'd already planned to go and see it together. But then, like 2 months before it came out, she basically full on told me that she didn't want to go see it. It wasn't her thing, it was more my thing, so she didn't want to go see it at all. Nothing else was mentioned about it at all from that point on. So I made the decision while I was on holiday that the day I came back on the Saturday, because we were staying with some relatives at the time, the day that I came back, I wanted to go and watch the film, because the relative we were staying at, she literally lived about 5-10 minutes away from a cinema. So I was like, Mum, when we get back to our relative's house, can I go and see Ant-Man? And she was just like, yeah, sure, what, you want to go see it on your own? I went, yeah, you know, your partner's had a really long drive, you're probably really tired yourself because you said you couldn't sleep last night, so can I go, I'll go see it on my own, you know, I'll buy the tickets now online, because we don't have an internet connection where we were, but I've got data on my phone, so I thought I'd just do it that way. And she was like, yeah, that's okay. So I went to go see it, and then I told Jane that I went to go see the film, and she was like, oh yeah, cool, was it good? And I was like, yeah, it was good, and I told her about it. And then 2 months later, she decided she wanted to have an argument with me about the fact I went to go see Ant-Man. And she was just like, she said, but we made plans to go and see it. And I was like, yeah, but you said you didn't want to go see it anyway. With this incident with the Ant-Man film, she did specifically say that she didn't want to go see it. And then 2 months after I went to see it, she had an argument with me about it, saying that we had plans to go see it. I pointed out to her that she did say that she didn't want to see it, and she had not said, oh yeah, are we still going to see the movie at all. She had not kind of asked me if I wanted to go see it with her or anything like that. Between those 4 months, she had not said anything. So I was under the impression she didn't want to go see it, so I went to go see it myself. Another incident that did happen, it happened more with Shannon than it did with Jane, but this was in a group conversation that was actually going on at the time, so it technically does have something to do with me as well, because personally, despite the fact the comment wasn't directed directly at me, it still kind of offended me quite a bit, because it's just something you shouldn't say. Basically what was happening is me and Shannon were having a fight with Jane on our group conversation on Facebook, and she was saying something about how we don't care about her and all. That's a normal thing. She was always going, you don't listen to me, you don't care about me, you're never there for me, and things like that. When we were, like, we would always be there for her, we'd offer her help, we'd offer to like go with her to the doctor to see if she can get a referral or something like that. We were always trying to help her, but she'd always say that we weren't, and things like that. But during this conversation, Shannon then did say that she felt terrible and she kind of hated herself because of the way she had treated people, and that she used a specific example in that she hated herself so much because she made her sister absolutely terrified of her. kind of point out that her sister is also disabled as well, and she's really close to her sister, but she felt terrible that she made her sister terrified of her, to the point where she would scream at her and basically tell her to go away and get out of the house. And Jane's response to this was, "Come to me when it matters." And both me and Shannon were like, "Excuse me? Sorry, what did you just say there?" And Shannon was like, "No, I can't fucking handle it anymore," and just left the group. And she was absolutely in bits for like days after that, and like she like blocked her, she deleted her. But then, like the way Jane is, she convinced her to be friends with her again and forgive her, because that's the way she was. She would manipulate us into forgiving her, despite the fact she would say absolutely vile things to us at times. Like, at one, I can't even think of a lot, just trying to think of things on the fly because this is completely unscripted. It's kind of hard to think of specific things she said, but that is one thing that did stick with me. And like, occasionally I'll just be sat like on the sofa or on my bed, and I'll be writing, or I'll be thinking about things, and all of a sudden that'll just come to me, and I'll be like, why did we forgive her after that? Because that is just unacceptable. Like, you can't say that about people. You can't say these kind of things, especially when Shannon had said that this had affected her so much, and she was just completely unsupportive in that. And I don't know, it's just not fair, really. It's just not nice.